here we are, another video that I was hoping I wouldn't have to make, but here it is, me making it. Gonna get the admin stuff out of the way early. If you enjoy the video, I'm sure most of you won't if you're watching it. If you enjoy the channel, if you've enjoyed other videos previously, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow it as quickly as possible. So if you like the content, subscribe to the channel. It's free, you can always unsubscribe later. Now, let's get into it. This is a tough one. I've got similar feelings to when Bielsa left, to making a Bielsa leaving video as well. We probably knew it was coming, but it doesn't make it any easier to take. As I'm recording this video, it's not officially signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. The fee has been agreed though, and that pretty much means it's done. He's not going to say no to however much money he's going to get offered from Man City, is he? He's Mr. Leeds, isn't he? This era's Mr. Leeds anyway, playing in the Premier League, the best league in the world, with his boyhood club. The club has supported all of his life. The club his family supports. To be fair to him, he could have left when we lost to Derby in the playoffs. He had an offer from Aston Villa, £30 million-ish, around that. He could have gone, but as we all know, if you've seen the documentary, Granny Val told him to stay, to give it one more year with Leeds, and he did. He got us promoted the year later and had 2 years with us in the Prem. So thanks to Granny Val, I guess, for making that happen. If it wasn't for Bielsa, yeah, I've said his name. I know loads of Leeds fans are bored. They tell everyone to move on, but you can't forget it. He's on Phil Hayes' book behind me. He's even on my jumper. If it wasn't for him, he would have left Leeds years ago. He'd be playing at Barnsley or Rotherham as a centre attacking mid, somewhere in the Championship, not really doing much. However, Bielsa changed his whole life completely, helped him achieve his dream to play for Leeds in the Premier League, play for England as well, and play in a final of a major tournament. Kalvin Phillips would not be playing for England without Bielsa. He wouldn't be England's Player of the Year without Bielsa. Leeds wouldn't be in the Premier League without Bielsa. And as I said, Kalvin would be somewhere mid-table in the Championship, and so would Leeds. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way early. The fee. I'm not happy with it. I think Man City have pulled our pants down with the fee. I think it's 43 million, 3 million add-ons, and then some 18-year-old for £5 million who's never played a competitive match before. I don't care how good he is at the moment, this 18-year-old. We should be getting 50 million guaranteed minimum for Kalvin. And then add-ons on top of that. And then maybe a player in return. But 43 million is England international player, England's Player of the Year, Premier League starter for £43 million. In this current market, that's a bargain. It's way too cheap. As I said, £50 million minimum, guaranteed, without all the add-ons on top of that. Now, all we've got to do is hope that that 43 million goes straight back into the squad and straight on buying a replacement for Kalvin Phillips. That is top quality, experienced, a ready replacement, and not a 21, 22-year-old that will be ready in 2 or 3 years' time, just needs a bit of development. No, we need someone who is ready to come in now and play in the centre of midfield. If this season went differently, if we weren't struggling at the bottom for pretty much the whole season, and maybe we invested more in the summer or in January, and we had a safe, solid season, maybe Kalvin would not be leaving. Maybe he'd still be a Leeds player, and maybe would have been able to push for Europe, and he'd been like, oh yeah, I want to stay now. I'm getting to my goals. I'm achieving Europe with Leeds. But now, moving to Man City, he's guaranteed to win trophies. It's just sad that it wasn't with us. I still think that if Bielsa was at Leeds and Leeds stay up this season like we have, which I think we would have done with Bielsa, I think he'd still be a Leeds player. If Bielsa was the Leeds manager next season, Kalvin Phillips would be a Leeds player next season. But Bielsa was probably going to leave at the end of the season, just gone anyway, so that's an irrelevant point, I guess. We know that Kalvin wasn't the same player post Bielsa anyway. I'm not sure whether that's because when he came back for Jesse Marsch, he'd just come from a long-term injury. He was still getting used to the tactics that Jesse Marsch plays and just getting used to playing football again, because he was out for a good few months. But maybe he just didn't have the love for Jesse Marsch football as he did for Bielsa's. We know the bond that they had. We know the connection that they had. We know how much Kalvin loved Bielsa, almost probably even more than Leeds fans did. So realistically, we're not surprised that he's leaving. And we know that under Pep Guardiola, he's going to be playing in a similar system to what he was under Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds United. He'll be playing in that anchorman role, the quarterback in front of the two centre midfielders in the 4-1-4-1 or 4-3-3 hybrid formation thing that they play. And that is when he does play. Because moving on to game time, he won't go straight into the starting 11. I imagine Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva will be Man City's go-to 3 centre midfielders. But Man City play 50, 60 games a season in all of competitions. They get to the latter stages of every single competition. So you'd imagine Kalvin playing at least 20 games a season for Man City, where he will be that position. And fans of Fantasy Premier League will know all about Pep Roulette as well. You just can't guarantee who's going to play for Man City. They've got 2 11s of incredible players that could start in any Premier League team. So you never know with their rotation how many games he's going to play. I just don't think he'll be the starting centre defensive mid yet. Maybe a bit more development under Pep, he might get there, but not straight away. Let's be honest. I'm gutted he's leaving. I've not loved a player like this for a long time. And I honestly thought that our days of selling our best players for cheap had gone. I know, go back a few years, we were selling Snodgrass for £3 million. Players were leaving on free transfers. So to get 43 million for a player, we've come a long way. But I thought it was gone. I thought we'd be able to keep our best players. I know Andrea wants to be based on the Leicester model, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But Leicester got 80 million for Harry Maguire. We should be getting more than 43 for Kalvin Phillips in that case. But that's it. He's moving on. He's going to go on and win trophies with Man City. He's going to play even more for England. Hopefully win the World Cup this Christmas as a Man City player, which is disgusting to say. And maybe one day he'll come back to Leeds with Erling Haaland and win some trophies at Leeds United. Thanks for everything, Kalvin. I know you're not going to see this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Thanks for everything, Kalvin. We love you. You'll always be Leeds. See you later.